Sonic Mania Plus is here and it's looking fantastic. Or I mean, it would be if I didn't forget my screen settings every time I launched the game.
Living in the city.
It's like a roller coaster.
So Sonic Mania Plus, along with its Encore DLC, is finally here. I figured I'd do a little update on it because you guys won't shut up about it, and also because I plan on doing a video on it anyway. Let's get into it, shall we? So the main selling points of Sonic Mania Plus are A, Ray and Mighty now being playable, B, the new Encore mode, and C, 4-player multiplayer, which I shall promptly ignore because who the hell has 3 friends lying around. Online mode, please. Even the fans are making mods of this shit, it's doable. Now something I didn't expect was for Encore mode to have its own save slots, and nor did I expect it to start off... Where does this start off? Is it when Sonic comes back from Forces? Wait, no, that's Mania Adventures plot. So is it when he comes back from the final boss after being sucked inside the Phantom Ruby portal? That can't be right either. Sega said that's the point where Sonic enters Modern's world. The only one that remotely makes any sense is the Mania Adventures one, but does that mean we're looking at an alternate dimension in the alternate dimension? Whatever. The game, as was leaked/announced, does actually begin in Angel Island Zone. You don't get to pick your character or anything. Instead, you go through an updated Angel Island Zone as Sonic. But, I mean, don't get too excited. By updated, I mean they took out all the secrets and bonuses from the original stage. There's no Act 2 either, you just get transported to Green Hill right after you save either Mighty or Ray, the other turning into the Heavy Magician. The Heavy Magician uses the Phantom Ruby to fix the rest of the heavy robots. So this does take place after Forces. Also, what the hell can this thing do again? We've already seen it alter reality via a person's mind, depth perception, however the hell they try to explain it in Forces. We've seen it transport characters, transform robots, create portals to other dimensions. If the Ruby can really do all these things, why doesn't Eggman just transport Sonic and Co into the sun's core? Anyway, you got Mighty and Ray now, with Ray's ability being able to glide, similarly to the Cape Feather in Super Mario World, and Mighty who has a sort of stomp and can jump at pretty much anything spiky without taking damage. Which means you can just kind of jump directly onto spikes and be perfectly fine. Ray's glide is actually really fun and you can go really far with it if you've got the skill. It stops whenever you either crash into a wall or you let go of the jump button. When you do this, he'll curl into a ball so you can hit enemies, which can be really fluid and fun. The only thing that'd make it better is if you could actually start your glide up again after you've hit an enemy, but I understand if that'd be a bit broken. Mighty has a stomp, which easily takes care of any spiked or bumped enemies. For some reason, smashing these guys was really satisfying. You always had to attack them from the front. And of course, he's not hurt by spikes if you jump onto them, although I think he still is if you stomp down on them. I'll have to double check. His stomp doesn't bounce off slopes like some were hoping, but I really don't mind this, to be honest. He's supposed to be a bit more tanky compared to someone like Sonic, so it thematically makes sense. So you run through Green Hill again. You know, you think my love for sunsets would make this level more enjoyable, but I'm still sick of it. So one of the, well, I'm not going to say selling points because they didn't actually advertise it really, is the remixed levels. I guess a lot of people got it in their head that the stages would be changed in some way other than visually, and while they have changed technically, it's not by much. The most I saw was the odd extra enemies here and there, spikes at a different place, you know, so on and so forth. The special stage rings have also changed location too. This one here in Green Hill was actually kind of fun to find the way in, although a few have actually just stayed the same, as their places in the level wouldn't really be able to house something different like the others. The special stages themselves are different too. Their themes are actually backwards, just something I noticed, but they're actually much harder as well. Usually I can get all the emeralds by Press Garden Zone, but by the end of the game I'd only collected 3. That also has to do with the fact that I only found like 4 entrances to the special stages anyhow. They're not so difficult it borders on unfair, but it gave me a bit of a wake-up call. To finish all of them, I replayed Green Hill like 10 extra times, and that last one was really giving me trouble. Alright, time to show this stage what I'm made of! You might have already noticed that Green Hill here is at sunset. Yep, Encore mode boasts brand new level colors, whether that be a different time of day or actually changing the color of the landscape. You've got Blueberry Plant, Sunset Studio, Dirty Battery, Midnight Printing, Sunset Speedway, and Turquoise Speedway, Wydrosity, Early Morning Mirage, Blue, and Smoky Ocean. Did Lava Reef actually change? Oh well, the second act did at least. Diarrhea Madness, and Shrek Shit Monarch. A lot of these palette swaps are pretty fucking gross. I like the ones like Sunset Hill and, well, I'll just say I like the originals better, I suppose. I have no idea why they decided to make several stages a disgusting brown color. It made the future levels in CD a horrible sight to see, and now here they are back in their full shitty glory. And you couldn't have made Metallic Mandus like a bright orange or something? Or red? That would have been neat. Yeah, oddly enough, the only one I think that improves on the aesthetics is Green Hill, and that's just because I really like sunset levels. It's like my hatred for Green Hill and my love for sunset themes are having an intense duel in my head. Also, if this is set after the first story, why the heck are the cutscenes a one-for-one replay? I would have preferred no cutscene over this. I mean, it would have made more sense, at least a little bit. Chemical Plant is just kind of blue now. Also, by the way, there are still glitches and bugs here and there. Am I meant to be able to stand here? Studiopolis has changed its hues around, and I mean, Not a big fan, but it looks alright. The second act looks kind of weird too, but at least there's some Knuckles Chaotix references here and there. Although, did they screw up the boss? I mean, I could just hit him when he's flying now. Was it always like this? Flying battery. I mean, even though it's brown, it looks pretty good. Kind of bronzy, I guess. Oh, holy shit, were those rings always there? Don't you dare.
It seems like we have to activate all 3 switches.
No! Another thing I should probably mention, the bosses haven't changed. At all. Actually, I think in the Oil Ocean 2 boss, the oil holds you dropped rings for a bit, so that one's actually easier. At least there are some new level transitions, like the gliders from the Game Gear version of Sonic 2 here. Press Garden's now at night, and I mean, it looks alright. I mean, the original second act looked better in my opinion. Also, Mighty can cheese the shit out of this boss. Stardust Speedway looks fine in both acts. I mean, although the turquoise/cyan is a bit of an eyesore. Oddly enough, the Metal Sonic boss fight has changed up too, but not only with the final bit where Eggman transforms with the Phantom Ruby, but also the silly bit with the Silver Sonics. Now they send out little energy balls when they explode, which can damage Metal Sonic. And that's wonderful! Screw you guys who said I was just dumb. Why would I spin dash into an attack? That's stupid! Can you spin dash into Silver Sonic's attack in Sonic 2, huh? Can you? Also, the big Metal Sonic here was the only real time I ever found an actual challenge. And that's because I just kept getting stuck behind him when I jumped on the weak spot. I thought it'd bounce me back, but I guess not. I got a game over here. Actually, the first time I've ever game overed in Sonic Mania, and I figured, hey, well, maybe I just have to roll into him. Maybe that'll bounce me off. No, I guess you just have to hit him at a very specific angle, but gee whiz, maybe it's a little too specific. Hydrosity is now a lovely shade of yellow-brown. It actually looks alright. I mean, to be honest, nothing really to complain about here. Oh, really? Again? You fixed a stupid-ass Metal Sonic fight, better fix this stupid shit? I was crouching! There's a new transition here, too. The wall opens up and you enter Mirage Saloon. Although there's absolutely no trace of Hydrosity's walls or anything at the start of the level, so I don't know, maybe Ray walked a couple 100 kilometers in between levels. Mirage Saloon looks good. You know, fine. Also, I got stuck here or something? I don't know what happened here. Oil Ocean goes from an orange palette to a blue one, and it looks pretty nice. No complaints. The transition to Lava Reef is pretty cool, although I don't think they actually changed the palette here, or if they did, it's not by much. I think a dark gray theme could have worked here, you know, like Obsidian or something. The second act got a downgrade, but I don't really care about this one, to be honest. Metallic Madness, though! Who the heck did this one? Green and brown do not go well together unless you're painting dirt, guys. Seriously, I look at this and I think diarrhea. That's the very first thought. Again, go for orange or something. Titanic Monarch has this problem too. These colors aren't threatening, they're disgusting. Now, as I said before, I didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds on my first run, so I didn't expect to see the secret boss in my first playthrough. The final boss is pretty much the same, although Eggman's got green hands instead of red for some reason. It still crystallizes over in red, so what? The Phantom Ruby hovers in the air while our heroes run away for whatever reason, and the Heavy King grabs it, leading into the credits. It's pretty clear that this is the low effort, not the real ending. So, of course, we have to go gather up the Chaos Emeralds we missed. And while we're doing that, I can talk about the Encore mode itself. Something I really should have mentioned earlier. In this mode, you don't have lives. Instead, you have characters waiting to fill in if you die. You can only ever have 5 at once, each of them being the different characters, and it's a really neat idea. You work with what you're given, you know? It's supposed to make the game a bit more difficult, I think, but sometimes it actually makes it easier, to be honest. You can die in a boss fight and your partner will just take your place. You can also switch between the partner you have and yourself, meaning you can use 2 abilities at once. Although the failed switch sound effect gets annoying real quickly. You can find extra characters in the 1-up monitors or by playing the pinball minigame, which actually replaces Blue Sphere. I hate it. God, do I hate it. So much. The visuals suck, it controls like ass. I'm not even gonna go into I just know I despise it with all my worth. So once you got the last of the emeralds, which is a goddamn mission in itself, it's back to Titanic Shriknark, where you'll have to do the stage over again. Hey, at least now you have Super Ray and Super Mighty. Alright then. You beat Eggman again and the secret boss cutscene begins. The Phantom Ruby creates another dimension-altering portal. Eggman sneaks away. The portal is catching up to Ray, or whoever your plan is. Eggman's getting away. It swallows up Ray. All hope is lost. But then wham! Chaos Emerald Sound and Super Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Mighty, and Ray boot Eggman into the portal, and thus commences the secret final boss. What? No. Are you kidding me? I spend over an hour collecting the last Chaos Emeralds and you give me this open-ended cutscene? How does this even make sense? What happened to Eggman? Why does it feel so rushed? Oh, come on! If what I think is going to happen turns out to be true, this'll be the second friggin' time this game's been used to sell Sonic Forces, and that game fucking sucks! God damn it, just let this game be its own thing. I don't want to see old stuff in new games anymore. Make a new game, god damn it! So, Is Sonic Mania Plus worth your money? Well, if you got the physical edition, you know, sure, whatever, absolutely. It's $30 for a great game. You get the art book, you get the other stuff, you get the holographic cover, whatever. I don't really care about physical games, but if you got it, good on you. But if you got the game digitally and you didn't really get that much replay value out of it, for example, me, after I finished all the 3 separate save files, you know, with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, Encore mode, while it was fun for a bit, it got pretty sluggish near the end. If you really want to play as Ray and Mighty, I mean, I say go ahead. It's not that much money, and it's not even fully ripping off countries like Sonic Forces did. I mean, $40 US does not equal 70 New Zealand dollars, Sega. Jesus Christ, Crash, you're 40 US too, and you're even more expensive? I was gonna do a video on you, but heck, man, what a rip.